In Chapter 22 of my FE7 Mech Units Only Ironman, we must protect Ninian's unconscious brother, Nils, in probably one of the worst starting formations in all of the Fire Emblem games I have ever played. Which is only like 4 official games and a few ROM hacks. I don't think many will argue with me considering the added challenge of having no cavalry units or flyers on my team. Aside from bad starting positions, every unit on the map has a reaver weapon of some sort equipped, aside from a select few. These weapons, as mentioned in previous videos, reverse the weapon triangle. There is also a lot of different units that make up the bulk of the map. The western side features axe fighters, wyverns, occasional cavalry, and mages, as well as Heath, the recruitable wyvern knight, who has a javelin as a backup weapon, making it difficult for most units to actually account for all the weapon varieties. You essentially need someone with good physical bulk with at least some semblance of resistance, or you will be overwhelmed by either effective damage from reaver weapons or magical tomes. The best I can do is send a mixture of Matthew, Dart, and Ellawood to either dodge tank or take hits directly. The center of the map features a variety of magic casters, armor knights, axe fighters, as well as wyverns and nomads that can leak in from the eastern side corridor. The bulk of my army will be placed here, including Oswin, Dorcas, Hector, and my beloved Will. You will notice that all of my most powerful units are going here because of the fact that the center 2-lane hallway is where most things can go awry. To put it in perspective, you essentially need to close up the hallway by turn 2 or you will be unable to stop the enemies from rushing to Nils, as my western flank isn't all that reliable at holding units back either. Lastly, we have the eastern side, which will be more or less held by Isidore the Paladin, who auto-joins this chapter carrying some high-end weapons and an angelic robe, which of course we immediately take from her and replace with the lowest grade variants we can, simply because there is a good chance she could die just while holding the eastern flank. Lynn is also deployed to the eastern front to help Isidore and recruit Raph, a Sacaean nomad. Now, this is where people might give me some guff for my rule set. I am allowing myself to use Raph fully because of 2 things. 1, he isn't technically cavalry, and 2, most people just bench him every run aside from some niche draft race situations. I also figured having 2 archers in my main army is pretty unique since most people barely make use of even 1. I will leave that to everyone's discretion, but as I was saying, Isidore will hold the right side just to stall for time. That is all I am really looking for here. Quick little editor's note. This would have been a fantastic time to use that light room from last chapter, but I am stubborn, and sometimes I'm just really bad and stupid at this game. Now, some of you may have noticed that the objective is simply to protect Nils, so if I truly wanted to win with no risk to my army whatsoever, I could have simply turtled in my starting position and just wait out the turn counter. But my counterpoint is that there is about 20,000 gold worth of treasure on the map. The treasure room to the southwest holds 10,000 gold in one chest and a brave axe in the other, which will be an insane weapon for Dart to make use of later. And the boss Ubens has a knight's crest for even more gold. And if there's one thing I can say with utmost confidence, I can be very greedy. So, to secure the treasure, we have to use one of our sleep staff charges from Sarah to put a thief to sleep before they can retrieve the money, as you cannot steal back money from them. Finding an opportunity to do so is incredibly difficult, as healing and magic damage is highly coveted for the entire team. But we manage it without anyone dying on the turn she is occupied, thanks to Ninian giving us just a little bit more flexibility. We can also thank the copious amount of pure waters we bought for allowing us to deal with these magical units in a decent enough manner. When the chapter gets to around turn 5, the flow of enemies slows down, allowing us the breathing room necessary to control the major choke points, with Ellawood using his newly acquired Wyrmslayer to deal with the large amount of wyverns that have axe reavers to the west, which as stated, allows Ellawood to beat a lance-wielding wyvern quite handily, thanks to both effective damage as well as weapon triangle advantage. But he can't hold it alone, so with a combination of Dart, Urk, and Dorcas dealing with other supplementary units like cavalry, we can slowly chop up the rest of the western flank. I should also note that the secret shop is located here. which has a very similar item list to the secret shop with Physic in Chapter 20. Just remember to bring your member card if you need the items. Meanwhile, our archers push east to clear out the enemy archers and ballista pestering our army, while Oswin and Hector press towards the boss in the southeast corner. I then spend a ridiculous amount of time thinking Hector could possibly die here, and even contemplate rescuing him out with Raph, which would guarantee that Raph dies, but Hector would survive. But as I look back, I realized it is literally impossible for Hector to die, as he would need to be hit by every enemy, and at max, from this position, he can only face 2 attacks, since the chapter ends automatically if the boss dies, and since Hector isn't wielding a hand axe, he can never free up a second mage to attack him. Luckily, I just trusted my gut, and nothing truly dire happened, and we avoid losing unit for absolutely nothing.
See you when you get back. Except, this season, you. What do you think he means by that?